Hello, welcome to 20 at 10 with Nat. I'm your host, Natalie. My special guest tonight is Zach Kale. He's a CMA-nominated multi-instrumentalist, songwriter, and producer based in Nashville. He's written multiple number one songs, his most notable being Gabby Barrett's 5-time platinum hit I Hope, featuring Charlie Puth. Kale has also had songs placed with Keith Urban, NELLY, Florida Georgia Line, Chase Rice, Parmalee, Hootie the Blowfish, Lauren Alaina, and many others, along with writing and producing full-time. Zach is one half of the duo Ya Boys with Universal Republic Records. So please welcome tonight, Mr. Zach Kale.
Yo,
Hello,
but
welcome.
I felt like it was getting ready for a boxing match, man. It
Da,
felt
da,
good. It felt
da,
good. I
da, da,
felt good.
da.
I felt good.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. All right, we've already got Jack and Joanna here. Thanks for joining us. Yes, Jack, thank you for sharing. It's going to be a good night. First, I want to go ahead and say for Jack and Joanna, if the volume between me and Zach is off, let me know. I was having some issues earlier in sound check.
It should be good. It should be good. You're really great for you. No.
Is it great? Not great. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to chat. I have lots of questions for you.
Uh-oh.
And yeah. And I'll just launch right into it.
Go for it.
So we mentioned it a little earlier in soundcheck, but my memories of meeting you and your family are nice, like pleasant, but also a little bit dramatic.
Yeah.
I met you technically through a friend of your wife,
Right.
and you had nothing to do with this, but y'all ended up hosting me for a couple of
Yeah, in the
nights when
house.
I came out to Nashville for a conference. Y'all were so kind to host me for a couple of nights, and which was really like such a great experience. Like I was so grateful for that. And uh, while all of that was amazing and y'all are amazing, there's also an incident that happened towards the end of my stay. Do you remember? You mentioned it
Yeah. No.
earlier.
I
You
just.
remember it pretty
Yeah. I bought.
clearly.
Yeah. No. I remember it. I bought a really cool skateboard thing called a one wheel, which is a skateboard that has the big fat tire in the center that you stand up on and you go, and it goes like 20 miles an hour. But when it goes over 20 miles an hour, it just cuts off. And when you cut off, you break your collarbone and like jam your shoulder into your body, and you're just in pain for a couple of days. And so that was that was the end of your stay was me just going, oh my
Well, I just
goodness,
remember. I think I left while you were still in the hospital. Like
really?
I remember Shelly was like, "So we're in the ER,"
Oh my
and I
gosh,
was like,
I'm
"Do I
sorry.
just leave?" Like it was, but obviously I was concerned, and I was like, "But I think I'm supposed to leave still." Like,
Yeah,
and
no,
it was like, I hope you're okay. And I chatted with her later, and like you were fine, but like it was
yeah,
just like, you're in the hospital, like
yeah. I mean, I'm not probably ever going to be a professional quarterback, but we're good to go. We're good to go. And
well, I'm
I
glad.
felt bad like this last March, my daughter broke her back like in like 7 places, and like I remember like sitting in the hospital with her being like, "Yeah, I remember when I broke my collarbone." Like you can't even compare it, so it's like no big deal. We're good. We're all good to go now, and she's great too. So
Well, I'm glad. Yeah, I was
hmm
glad to hear about that as well. That
yeah,
she's better.
she's great.
Well, thank you again for hosting me. That was a
Yeah,
really lovely, like, kind of introduction to Nashville. I'd been before, but not as an adult and not to stay and
yeah,
like not for music, you know?
yeah. Well, you're welcome anytime, and Nashville is the absolute best.
Well, thank
Unless
you.
you're from California and don't move here. So,
I mean, people are saying that in Texas too,
oh
especially
yeah,
Austin. But
yeah, for
you know
sure.
what? Texas is a really great place. I understand why people are moving
It's a
here.
fantastic
It's
place.
also very hot.
It is.
Um, have you? Well, okay. So I kind of asked you this earlier, and I've heard your story of how you came to Nashville,
Yeah,
but I heard bits and pieces like from Shelly and Michelle and or bits and pieces from interviews, and I'd just like to hear from you maybe a summary of how you made it to Nashville because my understanding is it was a random co-write that got picked up years later by Florida Georgia Line, and all of a sudden
yeah,
there's an open door.
yeah,
And maybe you mentioned earlier possibly asking like for the other side of that story. Like, just share whatever you want to share about that story. That is
No,
so
I think
encouraging to me. It's such a crazy story to me.
I think you said it. Next question. What's up? No, I'm
No.
kidding. Yeah, it was interesting. I before I met my wife, and we've been married over 11 years now. But before I met her, I did a pop rock soul record that was just bad. Like it just wasn't good at all. But sometimes you just need to get things off your chest, and I think that's part of writing for songs and albums and all that stuff is you're just getting things off your chest. And so I'd gone through a divorce earlier in life, and I lost my dad to ALS for, earlier in life, and so I just needed to kind of get those emotions off. And so I wrote this pop rock soul record with some angst to it. And a guy named Craig Wiseman heard it, which Craig Wiseman is a songwriter and he owns a publisher in town. And he wrote like huge country songs, like Live Like You Were Dying, with McGraw,
Yes.
and like Kenny Chesney wrote The Good Stuff and some classic country songs. And he heard some of that stuff and brought me up, and I was like, hey, we want you to write with some of our writers, some of the Atlanta kind of hip hop stuff meets country stuff. And so I did it like 2 trips, like 2 weeks worth of trips. I went back to Atlanta. My wife walked into the church that I was working at the time, married her like 9 months later, and never thought about writing songs again other than outside of the church. Like it might have been a little bit of a dream of like, oh, maybe I could do this as a songwriter. But when she came along, it was like, all I want to do is just give her everything. And most of that's just my time. And so we just kept working in the church world together. And fast forward, I think it was like 9 years later, out of the blue, I get a phone call or an email from this place that says, I need your licensing info for a song that you have on Florida Georgia Line's new album. And I'd heard bits and pieces of who Florida Georgia Line was, but I wasn't listening to a lot of country music at the time. Turns out they're a pretty big deal. Like it was a lot of fun.
Turns out.
Yeah, it turns out they really did it. So we made the move to Nashville, but when you finish a song in Nashville, the typical thing that you do is you either do a work tape on your phone or you do a demo, and then you pitch that to a label or to an artist, and you just kind of see if it works. And we didn't do any of that. We wrote that song. I didn't even really think it was done. I thought there were some good pieces. It's a song called Grow Old, but we turned it in, I guess, like that. And the guy named Keenan Smith that I wrote it with, turns out he was roommates or good friends with Tyler Hubbard, which is in Florida Georgia Line. And then fast forward all those years later, I was actually hanging out with Tyler not too long ago, and I was like, yo, I meant to ask you, like, how did you hear that song, man? And he was like, I just remembered it from all those years back at Belmont. I think there was a songwriter around. He heard it and he wanted to sing it to his wife at the wedding. So it's crazy. To me, that's a God story. That's the way I live my life. That's a God story. Like, that's crazy.
For sure. Yeah. Like you can't make it up. Like,
no, that's crazy.
If I were going to make up a story, that's not how I would have written it. I mean, it's amazing and fantastic, but like it's not quite how I would have pieced it together, but really cool.
No, and it's so hard in Nashville to get a song on anybody's album. Florida Georgia Line at the time, especially. Like I had another buddy that I heard recently had like 8 songs being considered, like on hold, being considered for one of their like last albums that they were working on, and didn't get any cuts, didn't get any like songs on an album. So for them to hear it out of the blue, 12 years ago, whatever, it's crazy.
Also means that was a good song. Little earworm that got in there.
I guess so. Yeah.
Is this your friend Justin tuning in?
Oh no. If it is, I apologize.
Justin Kennedy.
Oh yeah. Justin Terry Kennedy is who I call in my phone. His name is Catfish Kennedy. Because he can barely grow a mustache, and so I call him Catfish Kennedy. But yeah, my wife walked in, and my initial line to my wife at church when she walked by me, I was like, I like your boots. And she was wearing cowgirl boots, and the rest is history. So that's what he's referring to.
Nice. I love that. That's cool. I recently just saw some catfish, like giant catfish. Someone went out and they had a pond. And they are huge.
They're humongous. Go ahead and noodle for them.
They're just, if I had the right gear, maybe. But
yeah, no, they're disgusting.
Not in what I was wearing. Yeah, but I don't know. They would just like kind of look like giant frogs with open mouths coming for like the food on top of the water. It was just like kind of scary, alien.
For sure. No, they're disgusting. Yeah, but they taste pretty good.
Yeah. Did you ever want to be a writer in Nashville?
I didn't know what even when like Craig brought me up all those years ago, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know that you could get paid to write songs. So I think the answer is yes, but I didn't know that's what I wanted to do. Like I knew that I did an album that I didn't think was great, that Justin still thinks is great. Turns out, but
Nice.
and he was my guitar player for a long time,
Is
and
this album
so
available anywhere?
maybe never. No, I don't know. Please, no, don't
Is
go buy
it
that album.
is it
It's
can you
somewhere
find
on
it?
it's somewhere on the interwebs. But yeah,
Field stars if anyone can find it.
yeah, exactly. I didn't yeah, I didn't. I wanted to be, I guess, what I thought was an artist, and I did like 5 or 6 shows like through the Northeast, and I came back and I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't like riding in a van and doing that life. I'm a little bit more of a homebody. I
Hmm.
like to be back home. So I guess I did want to be a writer because I love writing songs. Some days it's hard, but it's always fun. It never
Hmm.
gets old.
I love that. When I was thinking back recently to like what I first when I first decided I was like I want to do this.
Hmm.
Like what my impression of that was as a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And what my like I didn't know anyone in music. No one in my family knew anyone in music. Like it wasn't like
Right.
a real thing. And I
Right.
was like if I could do anything, I was like I want to make music and never perform.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And like I didn't think it was a real thing. Like I didn't know people got paid for songwriting. Like
Yeah.
and since then, the part of that was because I'm like way too shy. But
Yeah.
like since then, I've overcome my fear of performing and actually really love performing.
Right.
But it's just funny that that was my first instinct as a kid would be like, I want to make a ton of music and never
Right.
perform. And it was like, yeah, it's hilarious to me. I don't
It's
know.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was doing a songwriter round, which for those that, like if you've never been to a songwriter round, like I know you have, Nat, like because you were at mine not too long ago, and that's really cool. But if you haven't been to one, it's basically the songwriters, they sing their songs kind of, Bluebird Cafe style. If you've ever seen the show Nashville, you just kind of sing them in a round, and or maybe at some places in a line, and you just kind of go down, and it's like next person does their song, and the songs that you've heard that you may not know, someone other than Carrie Underwood wrote them or something like that. And
Right.
I was playing around in at a winery in like close to San Francisco not too long ago, and this guy came up to me, and I thought it was a really cool statement because he came up to me and it was like, "Man, I've been to all these shows, man. I've been to probably 1,000 shows in my life, and I'm just not a country fan, but like tonight, by the way, this impression has got spot on. You're welcome. Like you have no idea the excellence that I'm not. He was like, you can't imagine how real this was to me tonight. Like this was the most
Yeah.
authentic thing, and I think for me as a songwriter, that's the fun part, right? It's like there's a layer that if an artist didn't write a song, it may be the best song you've ever heard in your life, but there's a layer of authenticity that they don't have, because it came from a writer's heart, And I
Oh
think
yeah.
there's a real emotion that a writer can give. It's really special to see sometimes. And so I think that writers do like to be performers, even though we like to stay behind the scenes. I think we do like to be like, hey, look at my craft. I still play my songs for my wife almost every day when we get done writing. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this little baby I just made?
Aw, I love it. Yeah, that's cool. I guess it's like performing, but on your own terms.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm a little like, I don't want the attention, but please clap at me. I'm like, that's my personality. Like I'm a toddler at all times.
Nice. Nice. Well, okay. So also, in addition to being kind of a badass writer, you're also putting out a record with a duo called Ya
Your
Boys.
boys. Yeah, I mean,
What can you say about it, if anything?
I will say this. It is like most of most of most of the time there's people who copy what people have done, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you hear I mean really there's going to be Katy Perry, and then there's going to be 20 people that try to sound like Katy Perry.
Yes.
And it same thing goes for like, I mean, different people, but in country you may have like a Sam Hunt, and then you have a slew of people trying to do Sam Hunt things. I don't think there's a lot of like copiers. I don't know if there's a lot of like creators
Mm-hmm.
in Nashville, and somehow me and this guy named Joe we got into a room and we were trying to write down the middle country songs. And I'm
Mhm.
talking like, y'all, it's like, like Bo Burnham style country songs where it's like, yeah, tailgate girl in a cornfield. Like, just like, I mean, not even great country songs. And we were trying to write these down the middle things, and it, it kind of beats on you after a little while. And so you need to be able to like express some sort of creative freedom to get back to where that down the middle stuff can become really great songs.
Right.
And you don't get stuck in a rut. And so we were writing these songs and we were just making ourselves laugh in the room with the energy and the jokes and just having a lot of fun. And so, yeah, we created these songs that it seems like they're only really awesome for sports and maybe nothing else ever. And it's fine.
Like
But I
playing in
think,
sports stadiums type
yeah,
songs?
that's what, like, there was like,
Nice.
we did some last year and it was, like, we only want to play arenas. Like, I know that sounds like we're just like cocky.
That's
No,
no, that's okay.
it's not what we think we should do. That's what we want to do. Like, our thing was like,
Yeah.
we're failed athletes first. And so we're like, okay, if we can't play sports, we're going to play at sports, you know? And
Yeah.
so the whole album is a lot of energy. There are some other things that are on there that aren't exactly for that, but it's just a lot of energy. And I think it's a lot of type of energy and songs and music that you've never heard before. That I think it's a new, I think it's a new thing. And it definitely is rooted in country strongly. But it has pop, hip hop influences for sure. I'm
Okay.
stoked about it. So
Okay. Awesome.
yeah.
What kind of go it maybe I don't know. Maybe this has to do with what you were just talking about. Maybe not.
Yeah.
What so far,
Hmm.
what work are you most proud of?
Um, as far
And it,
as a work, like as a song, or as
the effort that you've put out into a thing that became something. What was
I
I don't know.
think.
And that could change day to day what your answer is. But what tonight, what would you say?
Okay, so when Gabby Barrett walked into the studio, like which if y'all don't know who Gabby Barrett is, she was a couple. I mean, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, she came in maybe third on American Idol. And sadly, in Nashville, American Idol is great. I mean, there's been like Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, and there's been, I mean, a host of other people. But American Idol usually isn't like, especially now, you don't come off American Idol and it's like, here's your record deal. Like, this is the
Right.
world handed to you on a silver platter. And so Gabby came with a lot of raw talent, but didn't have the songs yet. And so I think writing with her and believing when the labels didn't sign her initially, like there was just something. Gabby and I have so much in common anyway. Our faith background is really similar, and so I think being able to see her and just see that she is an absolute diamond shining, and
Mm-hmm.
all she needed was a little bit of dust kicked off.
Nice.
Like it, I think it's my proudest thing, and for us to believe in each other, I think has been the proudest thing that I've done musically, and it's. I mean, it's it's changed our life. Like that belief in her and her belief in me has changed both of our lives.
That's awesome.
And our conviction to like not really change on what we believe on what we're going to say, even though I hope is a very mean song.
Yeah.
Like, and then I hope she cheats. It's still from a like vulnerable, raw place, you know?
Yeah.
And we're really proud of the work. So yeah, I'm proud of that.
Well, they're the songs that I've heard are really, really great. And it was really cool to see you perform them at the songwriter round. And beforehand, I remember Michelle and I were like Googling and YouTubing and like seeing all the official videos for and like the good ones too. Like
Yeah.
just really great. I was like, yeah, like it doesn't even like it makes perfect sense to me that you're doing what you're meant to do, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like you just it's like you found and you're flourishing in this thing and it's really cool to watch and see. Even
Right.
from a distance, like I don't really
Yeah.
know you, like
Right.
tangentially know you, but
Right.
yeah, so it's been really cool. I've been encouraged by your story even though like I don't know, we don't talk, but hearing
No.
about it has been really encouraging. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. I mean, I feel very grateful to do what I get to do every day for sure.
Awesome. Well, you may have touched on it, but maybe there's something different. I have a slightly different question I'd like to ask. What what in the spectrum of music, whether it is simply listening and absorbing, whether it's writing, producing, performing, teaching, any aspect of
Right.
music, like what part of music brings you the most joy?
Um, I think like I enjoy the craft of crafting songs. Like I enjoy that. I love writing melodies. I'm a melody first person. Like,
Cool.
but I still love like a really strong lyric. I don't. That's the thing that to me separates country from everything else is that like there's great intentionality to the lyric, and I feel like we're catching up to pop melodies, but we're just not near as compelling as like pop and indie melodies in
Mm-hmm.
country world yet. But we're getting there. But I think I think the most fulfilling thing is seeing a song that like that we wrote in this room or some other room, like for that to come from, hey, maybe the hook is this, to then you legitimately see a stadium full of people singing those lyrics back. Like that's insane. And if
Yeah.
it starts like stadium, like what, like if it's five people singing a song back that they know that you wrote because they know every lyric, it doesn't matter the number. It's the fact that someone has like an actual emotion reaction and it's become an anthem for them.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of the whole process.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and buying cool things. Like,
Buying cool things.
yeah, I mean, songwriting pays money sometimes, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, we wrote a song, and I bought some land. Like, how crazy is that? Like,
That's
I,
awesome.
yeah, I made
When there's
like
like fruit from the work that you've done. Yeah,
it's
that's amazing.
crazy. It's like to pick up a guitar or a piano or whatever, and to be able to buy dirt with it. That's just it's crazy.
Well, the you mentioned maybe now, but for sure in soundcheck, you originally wanted to be an artist
Hmm.
before you kind of took a path. You were leading worship at a church for a while before you came to
Yeah.
Nashville. What advice would you give that kid that wanted to be an artist? The one who's like hungering for it, trying to get it, trying to
Yeah.
find it, trying to make it. What would you tell that kid?
This is gonna sound really harsh. And
Okay.
I've given this advice before. Like some people will like DM me sometime and be like, "What advice would you give me?" It would be if there's anything else that you can possibly do that you enjoy doing, do that. Like if there's even a possibility of making a living doing anything else, do that because um, I think this job is unbelievably rewarding. I think being an artist is it's so much fun. But I think in this town especially, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere else, but like you have to have unbelievably thick skin to get told no as often as we get told no.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think there is like I mean it's insane. Like there are there are plaques from Platinum Records in this room. There are like I mean we bought dirt right with songs that we've written. There's in the first couple of years of writing, there's overwhelming success, and I hear all those no's way more than I see these like the wins. I have to remind myself of the wins because in my head I'm like, I'll never make it. I'll never make it as a songwriter or a singer or as an artist or as a producer. Like there's that mentality. And truthfully, over time, that I mean that weighs heavily on you. Like my mental health has suffered more since moving to Nashville than I think in any and than all the years combined prior.
Yeah.
Because getting told no that much and creating an atmosphere or like if you create a baby and you go, is it cute? And they go, it is not.
What well, okay, so for you as a writer, who's telling you no? Because who are you like
Yeah, that's a great
putting
question.
something out there to? Like what person in what role do they play that's saying, "Nah."
That's a great question. It's like the publisher. So
Okay.
when I signed my publishing to Sony Records or Sony Music Publishing here in town, and so every day when I get done writing a song, I email it in to my person at Sony, and the team listens to it. But you can write the best song that you've ever written, and I may play my favorite song that I've ever written before, and it like I wrote it 3 years ago, and nothing. It's been crickets until 2 weeks ago. It had been crickets. No one had said a word about it. They were like, "Cool song, man. or cool track, and that's it. And so,
Nice.
yeah. And then, but even hearing nothing, if you turn a song or you play it for friends or whatever, and like, there's not an overwhelming, this is the best thing I've ever heard,
Hmm.
to a creative, that still feels like a resounding no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
sometimes it's a hidden no, it's a mental no, but it's still a no.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And also, if you want to move to Nashville or you want to move to anywhere, you want to be a songwriter, my other piece of advice is work harder than anyone that you can possibly find around you. Like, if you're not working harder than everybody else, there will be people way more talented. You have to outwork them for sure.
I like that. Because that's true. There will be people more talented.
Way more talented.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like,
I was writing with a guy today named Seth Mosley, who, like, he's so kind, and he's always like, man, I'm just lucky to be in the room with you. There's no possible way he's lucky to be in the room with me. This guy's amazing. I mean, they had like doves and Grammys and all this stuff on the edge, and I'm like, man, there's no way I should be in the room with you.
that's funny.
And I don't even know if it's all that working, but I maybe I have the last year. Like, maybe I have. I don't know. But yeah, he may out talent me, but I may outwork him. I don't think I will, but you do have to outwork him.
Cool. Those are great pieces of advice. Um, what is your? This is the thing that I like to ask. This is my last question. This is the thing I like to ask all of my guests. What is your earliest memory of absolutely going crazy for a song or a piece of music? Maybe it was like seeing
Mm-hmm.
a performance or hearing a song on the radio or a classical piece. Like what it's being grabbed by a melody or something. What's your earliest memory of that?
I think I think for me it was like later on in life.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like, I mean, I grew up. I was a jazz studies major. I played in symphonies, out of college, and I worked in the church world. But for me, I think around maybe 16, 17, 18, around that time, like, I still grew up in a small town in Alabama, and I was driving a truck down, like, stereotypical truck with the windows down, listening to country radio. Because it's like, it's kind of what you do. You just like, in Alabama, I'm sure there were rock stations, but I didn't grow up like a rock kid. So I was like, well, I guess since Les Miserables isn't on the radio, I guess I'll listen to country. And there was a guy named Brad Paisley that had a song back in the day. It just said, "It's time to put a ring on the
Ah, I
finger I'm
love
wrapped
that.
around." I was like, "What? But you're wrapped around the finger,
Yes.
and you want to put a ring on that finger?" Like, it was just like, for me, it was like understanding. It was understanding a hook, like a country hook, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I think around the same time, like, Blake Shelton had like Austin, like this is Austin, and it's like a whole story song, and then like Old Red, and those songs were like, wait, these are stories and these are hooks, and there's like a cleverness involved in songwriting that just I geek out over. Like, I geek out over it, and I love it so much. So those songs, but especially, yeah, wrapped around the finger was a. I remember that as being a critical, like, turning point in my life.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
didn't hear that song when it was on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
but because I came to country music later, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And but there was a song on the radio by Brad Paisley I liked. I probably like Everything or something.
Right. Oh yeah.
And
Will
I went
Nance.
to a CD store because that was a
Yeah.
thing.
Wait,
And
you were at the store, you were at the round that we played where Will Nance played that song, were
yes,
you?
yes.
Yeah. Look at
And
that.
I was
Okay.
like, I like. So I will tell people like I feel like if I could write a song for anyone, it would be Brad Paisley. Like that would be like my notch of like,
Yeah.
ooh, if I could, I think that'd be cool. I
Yeah.
don't
It
know
would
that I
be.
have what it takes to write specifically a Brad Paisley song, but I would love to.
He's a hard camp. Like, he's hard to get in,
Yeah,
into, and
and I don't know, but so I went to a CD store and I just like bought. It was like secondhand CD store or like a thrift.
right,
I don't know. I was somewhere where it was
right.
all like it wasn't brand new CDs, and I got part two of Brad Paisley, and I
Okay.
just like consumed that CD, and so that song was my favorite on the album,
Yeah.
and
Part Two. Yeah, that was a great album. Like that had like that's not the one that had like the cigar song on it, right? Is
I
that the
don't think
album?
so. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's the one.
Let's see, Part Two.
Now
I'm,
like
I'm
now
looking at
all of
the.
the lyrics are escaping me, but the one like when pigs fly, come on over tonight.
Yeah.
We'll sit on the porch.
Oh, it had
Anyways,
like I'm gonna miss her. Like
yes,
that. Oh
that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That actually might have been why I bought the CD, but what I ended up loving was Wrapped Around or Finger, whatever.
It's yeah.
So good.
Wrapped around. Yeah, that's
I
great.
love that that's the song you love. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Um,
amazing.
yeah. Well, have you written it? You haven't you cut
I
any
haven't
Brad
written with Brad
Paisley?
Paisley. No Brad Paisley. Like that's one of my best friends in the world. He's like, dude, just when you write with Brad Paisley, just maybe it's like let me just chill in the room. So Brad
Oh
doesn't.
my
I don't feel like
gosh.
he writes all the time, like right now. So, but I would and Brad isn't like as relevant. Like I feel like as he used to be. But I feel
Mm-hmm.
like at any moment he could just be like, hey, remember me, guys? What's up? I'm Brad Paisley and I'm awesome. It could happen. I would write
I
with Brad
mean,
Paisley any day of the week.
yeah, yeah. He doesn't take himself too. I mean, I feel like in his music, he doesn't take himself too seriously,
No.
and I genuinely like will laugh out loud sometimes. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he pulls it off. Whatever
He
it's just
totally pulls it off.
hilarious to me. So yeah,
Right.
and a great
Yeah.
voice, of course.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
well, are you ready for some pop questions here?
Oh, wow. Did you have a bedazzled tissue box? What is that?
So this is a board game. See if I can not spill everything in there. It's called
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Nope. Can you see that?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
backwards, but
Okay. Yeah.
it's very mesmerizing to just like very tactile person.
Yeah.
So I
That's,
just
it's like, yeah. Well, that helped my anxiety a little bit. Keep on going. No.
yeah, see, make all these
Okay. We're good.
great
We're good.
sounds. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they're yes or no questions, and
All
we
right.
can both answer them. It's pretty chill. It's
Okay.
just like we end up talking about super random things in the show.
Cool.
Have
I'm
you
in.
ever gotten your hand stuck in something?
I don't think so. That's the boring answer, but I don't think so. Because I don't usually stick my hand in places where I'm like, this probably isn't coming out. You know what I
Like
mean?
as a kid, even nothing.
I don't think so. Like I wasn't like a is it mischievous? Like I wasn't like that. Like yeah, not
I
really.
mean,
No,
I wasn't either, but I still got my hand tangled in a folding chair. You know?
in a folding chair?
Yeah,
No,
you're
I
not
don't.
expecting like an outdoor like a gloop, like you're
That's
not.
true. No, I do. The only thing I did like I remember is like, hey, you should know better. It's like I stepped on like a rake. As a kid, my dad was like, hey, it's gonna hit you in the face. And I was like, I'll catch it. Trust me, I'll catch it. And it was like, is it as it came up like this? It was just like pop. I mean, it just is so fast. But no, I didn't get my hand stuck. But I got my eyes crossed by a rake one time.
That's amazing. Have you ever done something weird while sleepwalking? I
I
guess
don't
it's
sleepwalk,
also. I know.
but
I
how
guess
would
it's
you know?
also a. Have you ever sleepwalked?
Yeah, I've never slept walk.
I don't think I have
Yeah,
either.
sleep. Yeah, I don't think that would be freaky.
I don't think I've. I'm trying to think if I feel like someone like I woke like I shared a bedroom with my sister, and I'm one of 6 kids, so I feel like one of my siblings at one point I like woke up and there's someone standing at the foot of my bed
Oh my gosh.
in the middle of the night, and I was just like, go back to bed.
Go
Like,
to
ooh.
sleep, you weirdo. Yeah.
Or it was
Uh,
a nightmare, but I remember like seeing
no, they're
a
probably doing it.
silhouette figure and like, whew, it's
Go back to
terrifying.
bed. I do. I
Go
think
back to
maybe as
bed.
a kid you do weirder stuff like that. I don't think you do that. Like a lot of people, I know they do, but like I know a lot of people probably don't do that as an adult. But I do remember my daughter. One time we were like staying at this like vacation home, whatever it was, like somewhere on the beach. Anyway, I woke up in the middle of the night and she was just sitting Indian style next to the bed. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Like, yeah, I got mad. I don't know why I got mad because it was like, maybe I get mad scared or something. I was like, hey, what are you
Right.
doing? What are you doing right there? What are you doing sitting up like that? Why do you lay down? It's freaky when anything's
Ooh,
weird in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever acted like a jerk at a sporting event?
At
You
all of
could
them.
have been. Really?
No, here's the deal. I went to Alabama, so I'm the crappy type of Alabama football fan where it's like if anyone scores on us, I'm mad. Like I'm not happy that anyone scored.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is a super jerk mentality to have. Like it's like, come on, man, like let the other team score. It's like not everybody gets a trophy, you guys. Like they gotta earn it. You know, it's like I'm a jerk when it comes to that, to
Yeah.
sports and stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
How about
Here's the
you?
deal. I've been a jerk at a sporting event. I don't go to many sporting events, to be honest.
Okay.
Been a jerk at a sporting event. I played like YMCA basketball
Yeah, you did.
and like
Did you dunk?
at like third grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. In third grade,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I quickly learned I only played basketball 2 separate seasons, like third grade and then later again in like eighth or ninth
Okay.
grade. And I quickly learned that when it comes to certain contact sports,
Yep.
I do not thrive under pressure. I can make all the goals in the world in practice, but I cannot make a goal in a game. Like,
Okay.
I took
All right.
them and I missed all of them. So it was a very
Really?
defeating. So I'm pretty sure I like huffed off probably
Yeah, for
at
sure.
some point. Like,
Such
really
a jerk.
dramatically.
Such a jerk move. They've,
Yeah.
you know what? They've been emailing me about how you were in third grade recently, and they were just like, "No, Natalie was a jerk," and I also want to let
Like,
you know that you
you
probably shouldn't go on that
you
interview.
might not
You
want
know?
to talk with her on that
Yeah,
show.
she was like in
You
third
need to
grade.
boycott, cancel.
You know what I'm saying? She
Cancel
thought
that
she was
third
a
grader.
shooting guard, but she was a jerk, is what she was. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I discovered basketball is not my thing. I loved volleyball.
Oh yeah.
And
Shelly, my wife, played volleyball. She loved
oh
it.
no way, that's
Yeah.
awesome. But
Yeah.
I ended up trying eventually cross country and then I finally landed in golf. And that's
Okay.
way more my speed.
Yeah, it's
And I
pretty
feel
slow.
like and I feel like 10 times the mental game.
Golf is crazy. I can't play
It
golf. I'm too competitive for golf.
it it is so easy to get angry too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was never a jerk, but I remember getting really there was kind of a dumb I was like trying to not use all of the expletives. Dumb situation that happened in a tournament whereby I didn't know all the rules because I was still fairly new to golf.
Right.
It was the last tournament of the season. I was trying to beat my personal best.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to win, but like I had the absolute worst score when I started playing golf.
Okay.
And I had dropped so many strokes. It was amazing. And I ended up in this sand pit. And it was like, so it was, you could ostensibly birdie. It was like a par 3.
Okay.
And the hole is at a higher elevation. And there's
Right.
a sand pit on the side in front.
Sure.
So like in pretty steep wall. So you can't just like
You gotta hack at it.
chip it out. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
did. I hacked at it like 10
Right.
times and couldn't
Right.
get out. So like, I almost like broke down crying because I could not get out of the pit, and it finally like, and I didn't know that you could go backwards and drop outside
Sure.
of the pit.
Not
Like
probably
no
not get a
one told
birdie,
me.
but yeah.
No, and like the other girls that, of course, no one told me.
Well,
And
yeah. Of course.
everybody watched me continue to go, and no one was like, you know, you can just blah blah blah. Like I was so mad when my coach told me, and I was like, they didn't even like.
You didn't tell me this.
They just sat there for like minutes watching me like.
Just hack at this thing. Did
and,
you like?
I did not beat my personal best because of that hole, but like that was hole like 9. I still had the whole back half to play.
But it wrecks your game. Like that.
Yeah,
Hole
it was
10 and
that
11 is
moment.
like, come on.
And I knew that it was happening in that moment, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm so angry right now that like there's no way to hit my personal best. There's nothing I can do on this back. Like I was actually doing really well on the front 9.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do to recover and beat my personal best on the
Okay.
back. And I was like, but I don't want to have a terrible time. Like I need to chill.
Yeah.
I need
Well,
to
that's a
like
great
let this
attitude.
go, because like.
Just
I mean,
enjoy it.
I need to be able to actually play it. Like if I let myself stew and get angry, I will continue to play badly,
Yeah.
and will even like blow any chance
Yeah.
of getting close to my personal best out of the water.
Right.
I think I was like 2 higher than my personal best, but I somehow knew in the moment, like, wow, this is a mental game. And like this moment of like feeling explosive inside, like this frustration,
Yeah.
like I knew that this is the moment that everybody has to overcome and figure out how to move forward. Because
Oh,
it
that's
happens
great.
in every aspect of life. Anyways,
Were you like, I am in a pit. Like it's like I have to get out. Like were you? It was like, have you seen? You watched Ted Lasso? You seen that show?
I haven't. I've heard
Okay,
it's
well
amazing.
that's the end of the interview. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me
Bye.
on. Yeah, no, it is amazing. But he's such a positive guy, like such a positive coach for like this that European football team.
Mm,
And yeah, there's one thing where it's like, hey, you're like you forgot that this is something you play. Like you get to play. It's not like this isn't, you don't work sports, you play sports. You know what I mean?
right.
And it is. I think that's a great thing where you just like, no, I need to enjoy this. Like, I can't take myself seriously. I have to enjoy this. That's great.
Everybody's loving Ted Lasso references.
Hey, Ted Lasso is amazing.
So I hear. So I hear.
Yeah, no, it is. It is fantastic. Second season, a little slow, and then it starts picking up again. So yeah,
Oh man, so many Ted Lasso fans.
yeah, Ted Lasso is the jam. I'm telling you,
Amazing.
it's the best show that it to me it was, and everyone's going to agree with this. It was the show 2020 needed,
Okay.
hands down. It's just such a positive like ball of fun. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, I've heard people mention it, and maybe I'll give it a go.
yeah, give it a go. You won't be let down.
So, okay, do you have a question for me?
Um, well, you've already answered the Brad Paisley thing. That was going to be one of my questions, but
Oh, what do you mean? Like, who would I write for if I could write for anyone?
yeah, if you could write for somebody, like who would it be? But I'm curious to like want to know like when you write down or when you sit down or stand up. I don't know how you write.
Stand on my head, actually.
When you do a handstand to write a song, like what is your process?
It tends to change.
Okay.
Like, it's not necessarily always the same, but it does trend where I have a lot of voice memos,
Okay.
a lot of songs come, or a lot of beginnings, a
Okay.
lot of melody hooks at least, or
Yep.
like random, I call them scratch lyrics because they're usually like kind of out there and weird,
Yep.
will come in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually drive in silence because it gives space
Yeah,
for the
for
melodies
sure.
to come. Yeah, and it's one of the few places that you can actually be in silence.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no
Yeah.
coffee shop or venue or bar anywhere that's not blaring music 24/7. So,
Yeah, sure.
um, so I will do voice memos to start, and then sometimes I'll have something stuck in my head. That's always a really great sign.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sit down, it's usually like the last 3 months excluded. I've been in a little bit of a dry spell, but
Okay.
we'll sit down with that idea, and it's usually the melody that's propelling it forward.
Okay.
For me, I like to describe it as the melody kind of unlocks the rest of the lyrics.
Yeah.
But I usually have some sort of lyric idea, and I really love how words will, like the cadence of the words
Yeah.
in the melody.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when it fits and feels right, and the words aren't dumb,
Right.
like they
Sure.
kind of make sense, or they're intriguing, or like, oh, that's kind of a hit. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
as in like a gut punch.
Yeah.
And then also, what I've really focused on the last year and a half or so is like digging deep within me and my experience,
Yeah.
and really diving into like, how do I actually feel about XYZ?
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of songwriting groups because there's a accountability, there's a deadline. You have to submit a finished,
Oh, cool.
some sort of finished thing by Sunday at midnight.
Right.
And I might write 20 duds, but I get a few gold pieces.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was one group, I don't know why this felt really good, but there was a group where they had a certain prompt, and like I didn't follow the prompt at all because I kept writing and like nothing was happening, nothing was coming.
Right.
And I couldn't to fit that prompt. And I was like, unfortunately, the only thing that I was thinking about that week was a person.
Okay.
And like they were in my dreams. I could not escape him. Like it just was like so frustrating that like, cool, I can't write this other stuff because he's always on my mind.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to write about that. And so I wrote a song called Forgetter.
Okay.
And it's not like, I don't know, I think it's a great song, but it just felt really great to write because I really pressed into the moment.
Yeah.
And like, forget the prompt. Like, I'm just going to dive into and just describe
Yeah.
what's happening right now because
Yeah.
it's
It's like
really
dig it out a
frustrating.
little bit.
Yeah. Like, if
Yeah.
I can't do the thing I'm trying to do, then I can just write about what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I can shed this moment.
Sure.
Know?
Do you ever have dreams where there's like a hit song that you're like they're in your dreams and you're like, no, this is an absolute hit song, and you do a voice memo of it in the middle of the night?
I've done it a few times.
Have you ever heard the melody the next morning?
Yes.
Because mine, like when I'm like in my head, like I'm like, this is the best song ever. Let me listen to what I had last night, and it always sounds like this. Because there's no melody, there's no utterance of any syllable. It's just yeah, but you can hear yours.
I've definitely done that.
Oh my goodness.
There's one that I think actually could be in a song, and I wrote a song around it, but the song wasn't great. But I actually really like the idea, and I like the melody.
Okay, all right.
But the dream itself
That's
was kind of creepy.
Oh, I have creepy dreams all the time.
But I mean, creepy dreams where like there's a song in it, and you're like, oh my gosh, that song is amazing.
Oh no, I don't know. Like last night, it had no song in it. I just in my dream, I was stuck in the middle of a city, and I had to collect all my firearms before I got back to the house to make sure I got the right amount of firearms before I got back, or the world was going to end. I was like, what is this about? You know, but I think we were watching like a prepper show yesterday, so I was like,
okay.
That's why. But it's still a weird dream. And I didn't collect all the firearms, so I apologize, you guys.
Bummer.
Yeah,
so
bummer.
Y'all died? I guess
who knows? I'll let you know tomorrow. We got to finish it up tonight.
Do you have dreams in parts? No, for part 2.
No, I don't. But I don't know if it's because of a creative mind. Like I know when people are like, you know, when you just like want to finish a dream, you're like, well, man, I can't go back to sleep and finish it, but I can finish it. It's like there's a form of counseling called like EMDR where you can walk through and you like rewrite stories in your mind to like overcome traumas. And it's like I kind of do that in my dreams, and it's fun. I like dreaming. I don't know if it's deep sleep, but I love dreaming.
I like dreaming. I didn't love my dreams last night, but I generally really love dreaming.
Awesome.
Do you ever have like recurring dreams? Or like different dreams, but they occur in the same location?
I have reoccurring people in my dreams.
Are they people you know, or are they like...
They're people I know. Okay. They're people I know. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like they're this is way too much information. There's a girl that I dated for a long time, and there's nothing weird. Like there's nothing weird in the dream that happens, but she's constantly in dreams, and I'm like, what in the world is that about? And I think there truly is a thing like this so spiritual weird stuff, but like I think soul ties are a thing. I think there are like things that you've done that have allowed other people to connect in weird ways that you just don't like. You need to break those things, and like so yeah. But there are people that like come into my dreams, but like they don't. It's not like it's not a reoccurring place. I think I had those as a kid. I didn't have them as an adult.
I have like a Jurassic Park type reoccurring dream that happens, and it kind of varies every time, but it's similar also.
Okay.
And it always starts with like we're driving the wrong way in a roundabout, and we kind of crash up onto the like it's a rounded like middle median.
Okay.
And we're all like, we get out of the car and we run to the nearest office building.
Yeah.
And there's definitely, what are those weird ones? Velociraptors?
Yeah,
the
little, like the big, but they're little. Yeah.
Yeah, and they like just want to eat you. And so like we're running from them, although we haven't seen them yet, but we know they're coming. And so we're trying to figure out how to escape them. And we're like in stairwells, like climbing up stairs. And inevitably, somehow, always, I end up in charge of like protecting us, the group, whoever is with us in this particular dream. And at some point, one of us has a safari hat. And I don't know, but like, I always wake up heart pounding, like There's
Yeah.
no way to escape this. Like velociraptors will like eventually find you in whatever building you're in, but it's weird. It always starts with that car running up on the
Yeah.
median. We get out, whoever's with us in this particular dream, we get out, run to the nearest building, and then we're just like
So
trying
it's
to get
different
away.
people every time.
Yeah, it depends.
Huh.
And I don't know why there's a safari hat. Like, who needs that downtown? But
Well, they're
that's in
super
there.
sick though. Like, I mean, I think we all know safari hats are really cool.
I don't
So
really
yeah,
think I'd pull it off, but yeah.
no, like, wow, safari hat. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if I can interpret this dream. I got nothing for you. Like, I
Yep.
got nothing for you. That's crazy.
I'm
That
like,
I mean,
it'll
that's
just
a wild
randomly
dream.
happen, and I'm like, but I don't. What? Like, am I supposed to know something? Because it's been years, you know.
Yeah, that's a
It's
wild.
been a couple years since it's happened, I think. But like every now and then it'll happen again. I'm
You
like,
know it's happening tonight. Like, you know beyond a shadow that it's happening tonight. Safari hat and all. You may even have a name. Like, it may be a name on your like cargo shirt. You know, it'll be great.
oh my gosh. Well, I'll come back to you for merch ideas.
Okay, yeah, I'm in for sure.
I'll draw one more question and then maybe we'll transition to music.
Okay.
Have you ever rummaged through a friend's medicine cabinet?
No, I haven't. I'm not
Snooper?
I'm not a snooper really. Yeah, I don't like because
Have you ever like opened someone else's medicine cabinet and like peeked
no,
inside?
no, because I don't know where people's medicine cabinets are. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes they're drawers in bathrooms.
Oh,
Sometimes they're like behind a mirror. Like, I don't, and like, I think like I'm not a natural, like, my first reaction to any medical problem is not like take medicine for it. You know,
right.
so like I'm not like I don't think about medicine first. So I
Mm-hmm.
probably am not like, well, they got some hydrocodone in there. Like, what they got? Like, I don't really, I don't think I ever have. Have you
Cool.
ever like looked through medicine cabinets?
Not like intensely, but I've like it's a mirror and I can tell. Sometimes I'll just open it to see if it's actually a medicine cabinet. Sometimes I'm just curious if
And
they
not a
even
camera,
actually
right?
keep anything in there. I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Weirdo, what's
Um,
up in the camera? Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like touched anything in a medicine cabinet, but sometimes like I've definitely snooped if like you run out of toilet paper or
Oh
you
yeah, I've
need a
totally done that.
band-aid or something or like other
Yeah.
emergency. Just like I know that this is okay because I need something right now.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
not a medicine cabinet. I've snooped looking for something for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, not in a medicine cabinet.
cool.
And people, hey y'all, people are weird. Like, you're gonna find some weird stuff. I
People
just
are
don't want to
weird.
look through it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I worked at a camp for a while, and I found enough weird stuff after people left. That's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
People are
just
weird.
stopped being surprised. Just like,
Yeah.
oh, we had a bunch of teenage boys in this cabin.
Ah, that's the worst. Teenage boys are gross.
It's like, guys, we're gonna let you clean this bathroom.
Oh yeah, you're not. No one going. No one walking here barefoot. You guys. No one going here barefoot. Yeah.
And there was one time we cleaned up after like a Valentine's Day couples retreat. I was like, I didn't expect to find any of this stuff in here. It's just like, okay.
Wow. It's an interesting camp you were at there.
Well, it was a Christian camp. That's the thing. And so I was like more shocked to find some things
Oh my
upon
gosh.
cleanup. And I was like,
Again,
all right.
people are weird. People are weird.
I was like, guys, let's not make any of this weird. Just throw stuff
Was
away.
it like when you say weird, like was it like too pretty risque, like
No, it's like
hats
lubricant
that they
and
were?
stuff. It
Oh,
was just
I was actually going to do the safari hat. I wasn't going to lubricant. Oh my gosh.
I
Oh
know.
my
I was
God.
like, I don't want to know. Just sweep
No.
it into the trash can.
No. I was like super like risque, like cargo hats, or like I didn't know, like safari hats. No. Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh
And
my
I'm
gosh.
like, we're college kids at a Christian camp cleaning.
Yeah, y'all should know better. Come on, man.
Well, yeah,
Oh
but
my
like,
gosh. They should.
we're
Yeah.
like, are we allowed to know what this is?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's
Disgusting.
funny.
Yeah.
Disgusting and funny.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Well, what you have a song that you're gonna play?
Well, yeah, after lubricant, yeah. I mean, I guess we only have up to go from here, so it doesn't matter how bad I am.
You can't get any lower than that.
Yeah, wow. Let me just slide over here and get my guitar.
Wow. Yeah. I
Um,
can't even make any more jokes.
no, that's it. That's as
Just gonna let
disgusting as
that one lie.
Yeah, yeah. Just
Hey, Coon Dog. How's it going? We also got Paul in here.
so what's his name's Coon Dog?
Well, that's his
What?
username.
Dude, that's a yeah, that's a sick name.
Also, Casey and Heather are here too, and Ray. Oh, also, I forgot to ask. Would you like the whole screen to yourself, or you want me to hang out with you?
I would totally hang out with me. What
Okay,
like
cool.
yes, I would like the I don't know if you saw it in my writer. I would like the whole screen to myself, to look at myself when I sing a song about myself.
I was like, I couldn't really get you like the 500 room temperature water bottles with the labels removed, but I did my best.
No, no, it's great.
Cool.
Let's see if I can actually get this capo to work. It just like stopped working on me the other night.
The capo?
Yeah, I've never like. I feel like I've been playing a long time, and never has my capo just stopped working.
So, what about it doesn't work? Like your guitar won't stay in tune, or won't stay on your guitar?
It just won't stay on. Like it's like the spring, just like it was like this is
Oh
all the life that
no!
I have for you.
Is it a
Um,
Dunlap?
no, it was like I think it was like a Planet Waves one. It was just one that was just in a bag, and so
I've had this Dunlap, like standard,
those are
like
great.
I've literally had it for like 17 years,
Yeah,
and you know how it has little rubber pieces. Well, like one of
yeah.
the rubber pieces I noticed today was gone. I was like, oh no,
Oh yeah, no,
I might
that's a
need to
wrap.
replace it. And I'm like, it's been so good to me.
Yeah, the guy I was riding with today, I'd never seen one of these. It was like a capo, um, like
Was
a
it a
really
Thalia?
strong, like it was a strong capo. It was like an IntelliTouch or whatever.
Oh,
But it had a tuner in it. Like the capo had a
whoa,
tuner. I was like, whoa,
whoa, and it's called IntelliTouch.
yeah,
Well, that's kind of brilliant. I might have to
yeah.
look
I
into
thought I
that.
was like, man, that's I don't have to lose two things now. I can only lose one. That's great.
Well, I finally bought a guitar with a tuner built in. That was like
Oh,
game
that's
changer.
fancy. Good grief.
But it's helped when I like didn't have a mute pedal for a specific gig or whatever, or
Oh
like
yeah,
last minute.
yeah, for sure. Um,
What's this one called?
I'm gonna have to tune it. It is it's a song I wrote kind of out of a place. It's called One Day Left, and it's a song that my wife she came in the bedroom um several years ago. That's nowhere near into it. I mean, it wasn't even like it was close. It was like it wasn't even trying. It was like, nah, dude. It's like I'm just gonna be like, like halfway into. Um, oh, I see why. It's tuning to 447 instead of 440, which is very interesting. So if you want to play along, you definitely can. It's gonna be really out of tune.
Well, there's also
Um,
unfortunately a delay.
oh, great. Well, but we talked about lubricant before this, so like it can't get worse. So like you could
Nope.
play whenever. Um, pick any chord. But she walked into the bedroom, and she's kind of like seriously asked me. She was like, "What would you do if tomorrow was your last day on Earth?" And I was like, "What did I not do? Like, did I do? What did I not do?" And she, I honestly, I didn't think anything about it. Like I was just like, I would do whatever you wanted to do. Like, because the day after that, like I believe I'll be with Jesus. And so I'd want you to make any memory tomorrow with me that you wanted to make because
Mhm.
I wouldn't be there the next day.
Mhm.
And so I was writing, a couple of years later, and I thought like that would be kind of a fun if you could create that moment in a song. Like I think that could be kind of special. So let me, after singing all day, here's that cool capo. This goes plastic chairs around a fire pit, barefoot third bottle in, two sheets to the moonlit wind, a couple kids talking crazy like what we do for $1,000,000. I bucket list and should have done, said some things and made a blush. Man, She looked amazing, but she caught me off guard for a second. Well, she grabbed my hand, asked a question. If tomorrow is your last sunset, what would you do? And let the sunrise dance on your face, wake you up with a kiss and a latte. Hide love notes around this house so you remember me when you pull them out. Buy roses for your next 10 birthdays so I can look down and see you smile, babe. Go ahead and turn off my phone and let the world think I'm already gone. We'd laugh, we'd cry, stay up all night. I'd let you know, baby, I love you with my last breath. If I had one day left, if I had one day left, then I said, girl, to tell you the truth, you already made my dreams come true. So we can do what you want to do. Yeah, all day long, be all about you. I'd wake you up with a kiss and a latte. Finally hang that shelf in the hallway. Hide love notes around this house so you remember me when you pull them out. Buy roses for your next 10 birthdays so I can look down and see you smile, babe. Go ahead and turn off my phone and let the world think I'm already gone. We'd laugh, we'd cry, stay up all night. I let you know that, baby, I love you with my last breath. If I had one day left, if I had one day left, we'd do some barefoot spinning to Sinatra in the kitchen. I whisper in your ear how much I'm gonna miss you. Let the sunrise dance on your face. Probably hang that shelf in the hallway and hide love notes around this house so you remember me. And when you pull them out, buy roses for your next 10 birthdays so I can look down and see you smile, babe. Go ahead and turn off my phone and let the world think I'm already gone. We'd laugh, we'd cry, stay up all night. I'd let you know, baby, I love you with my last breath. If I had one day left. Yeah, oh, yes. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, thanks. It's always it's like my favorite one, just because I love my wife so much, and it's my favorite one for her, and it's the one that I feel like we wrote like 3 years ago, nothing ever happened with, and then I was like, wait, hold on a second, maybe if I just do a video of me doing that and just send it to Thomas Rhett, maybe he would like it, and he did, and he loves it. So like we'll see what happens with it, but yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What you got?
Claps and comments.
Oh, we did it.
Paul saw you play that recently. He said the whole room was crying.
Oh man, I paid him to cry though. That's the deal. Like it's a staged crowd, Paul. Like that's the deal.
Dang,
No,
how many people did you pay?
a lot. It's all the I hope money is gone. Because of that one show at Listening Room.
Dang.
No, it does. It solicits an emotion because I think it's a real emotion. I meant it when we wrote it. I meant it about my wife. It's what I would do, and yeah. So anyway, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, this one's not very sweet. It's kind of like what happens when you sort of fall for someone real hard.
Okay.
Maybe too hard.
Okay.
It's called Done.
All right.
I'll take up smoking. Never have before. To keep my fingers busy and my body off the floor. You had me at your silhouette, you in your hat and hair. And when I saw you in the light, I had to get some air. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. Oh. Well, lately I've been hungry, but I can't seem to stomach food. Because you make me so damn nervous, it's the strangest truth. I wrote that script out in my head, the one where we were friends. And somehow it made sense to me, but I couldn't read the end. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. And you think that I'm a robot programmed from my youth, that I don't make my choices or consider other views. And the truth is, and the truth is, and the truth is that I got a little drunk last night and lost all of my clothes. Woke up with you on my mind, I'll never let you know. Done to me, done to me, done to me, done to me. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. What have you done to me? Done to me, done to me. Oh, oh,
Ooh. I've never clapped like this before. I like that.
Thanks.
I love that thing. That's a great melody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Music's fun, you guys. Music's fun.
So much fun.
It is. Great job.
You have some more. Thank you so much for being my guest tonight,
Oh, yeah, my pleasure.
for sharing a song, even though I know you've been singing all day. I really appreciate it.
No, yeah, my pleasure. For sure.
And thank you everyone for tuning in. I dropped Zach's Instagram profile into the chat so you can find it and follow him. And stay tuned for ya boys
Yeah, boys. It's crazy.
announcements.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Well, everyone, I hope you'll have a good evening. And I'll be back here next week with another guest, Ty Austin.
Wow, sweet.
Bye, y'all. Have a good night.